and we are coming up on, with the anniversary of his death, we're coming up on the anniversary, August 24th, 1977. He would have been at Roanoke Civic Center again had he lived. And instead of a concert, they did the makeshift memorial for him, and people came and they played his music, and there's video clips of that. There's footage.
There was a lot of people there from my memory.
Yep. There's a footage of him. The capacity for Roanoke Civic Center is 10,500 still today. So I'm sure that it was a sold out show, and I'm sure that there would have been that many people there. I know of at least one person who has a ticket to the show and still, wouldn't part with it to this day. Now, the hotel that he stayed at, there is a video that says that he stayed at the Sheridan Inn, which is now the Baymont Inn. Now, I don't know if that was your
Yes.
I don't know if that was your
Well,
video.
I actually got it wrong in that video, and I haven't been back to Roanoke to fix it. He stayed there, like you said, multiple times, and the one that was across the street where the Ford place is, now where I said that those photos of him and Linda were taken at is not correct. The Baymont is the actual hotel. And you're right, it is still there. And, man, I wish that we could have figured it out while we were there, because I would love to have seen it. But I do plan on, when I go back through there, to make anytime I get something wrong like that, I'll make a follow-up video and go, hey, in this video I got this wrong. I just hadn't been back that way since then. But I know that he stayed in several, but you're right, the Baymont is still there.
And
they even have photos. Those photos, if you go in the lobby of the Baymont, I believe
it's there.
The photos are in there.
Yeah,
That's right.
I've seen that. That's right. And and of course he played twice at the now demolished American Legion building, which
which was next door to the hotel.
Right. Now, all the greats played there, and they all played at one time. You had like Ruth Brown and Clyde McPhatter, the Drifters, and Fats Domino, and they all came to Roanoke, and they all played at that building. It must have been a terrific.
He was on the tour with Hank Snow, from my memory.
Right.
Which was a package show, but Hank was the headliner at the time when he was there.
And Mother Maybelle Carter, of course, another Southwest Virginia native, was on that list as well. Now, there's another location that you've been to, which is the Bristol location. Now, he didn't perform in Bristol. He performed in Johnson City, but the hotel that he stayed at, the Days Inn in Bristol, which was another terrific video that I thought you did.
That was a Holiday Inn back then, that's right.
Right, which that would be also about an hour from me in the other direction.
Oh, I see. So that's not too far.
No. So so the fact that we can go and drive and see these places where Elvis was is pretty extraordinary, because today, there is no such thing as a star of Elvis's caliber, but if you are a star of that caliber, you wouldn't come to Roanoke to play. You'd have you get lucky if you get to go to Charlotte and see somebody perform of that caliber. Now, big stars didn't come to Roanoke, but Elvis did, and Elvis played everywhere, and that's, And
I wanted to mention something about Roanoke that I did not include in the video.
Oh, please
next time I go back, I actually have someone that was I think from my memory, he was either a state trooper or he was a sheriff's deputy. And he actually was with Elvis when he went up to the Star on top of the mountain.
Yes, so
he did go up there.
That's what in the video you were not able to confirm that whether he did or not.
Right, but I found a guy contacted me, watched the video, and contacted me and said I was with him. And what I do in those cases is I keep Google Docs on my phone, so I will make a Google Doc for Roanoke, so the next time I go, I have that information of how I get a hold of that person.
Right, because I included that in my article too, that he had seen a report that Dave Garraway had done on the Mill Mountain Star, and he wanted to see it, so they had to arrange, a decoy to go up to keep the crowd away, so he could go up and take a look at the Mill Mountain Star,
That's right.
Which is pretty extraordinary. Now we're running short on time, so I just want to run this one by you and see what you know about this. The Memphis Mafia told a story about it was a black woman that needed a wheelchair.
Yes, that is a true story.
And he found one of I didn't even know there were motorized wheelchairs in those days. I was born in 1985 with cerebral palsy, and I've spent my life in a wheelchair. So the fact that he found a motorized wheelchair in the 50s and gave it to this woman, picked her up, gave her a kiss, put her in the chair, I think...
No, it wouldn't have been in the 50s. That would have been in the 70s.
Oh, it was not in the 50s.
Yes. No, it was not in the 50s.
Then I had...
See, there wasn't any Memphis Mafia. Memphis Mafia didn't actually happen until... Now, he had entourage. He had people that hung out with him, but the phrase was coined in 61 or 62 in Las Vegas.
Right, okay. Well, then I have
those
that
guys,
one.
most of them wouldn't have been around, but that story... to my knowledge, happened in the early 70s.
Okay. Well, thank you. I've corrected that. I hope I can get it corrected in time before it goes in print. But anyway, that story is something that, for obvious reasons, is very touching to me. And I think that the humanization of Elvis and the generous guy that he was is what should have been brought home that people don't know about Elvis, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing that they missed in the movie. You know, there's some staples that are Elvis, and what I mean is there's things that make Elvis Elvis. And his legendary generosity is probably the biggest thing, and they just completely skipped that over. I mean, Elvis gave like no other. He gave cars, he gave houses, he gave everything, and he tried to help people, like you're saying. You know, they read a story about this particular person having a need, and he filled the need, and he did that a lot. He gave away hundreds of vehicles. He gave away houses. Just legendary generosity. And it was a thing where he didn't do it to get thanked. In fact, he would get upset if you mentioned it to him. You know, what he wanted was to see that look on your face when you got that car.
Right.
And he was satisfied with that, and he moved on. He didn't want you bringing it up again, and he never used it as a tool. Yeah. Some people do things for you to use as a tool later.
Oh, yes.
It was not him at all.
And he did things a lot of times he tried to do it with as much anonymity as possible.
That's a fact. Yes, sir.
Now, my mother-in-law saw Elvis in 1972, April 13th, 1972, in Charlotte, at the Charlotte Coliseum. And is that a place that you've been? I haven't seen a video of you at Charlotte.
I have not filmed in Charlotte. I think Trey did.
Okay.
I have been to Charlotte. I'm from eastern North Carolina, so I used to go. I worked for Ford at a car dealership, a Ford dealership. I was service manager at a Ford dealership before I moved to Nashville over 20 years ago. And all of our Ford training would be in Charlotte, usually. So I would go to Charlotte a lot. I remember there being a mall there that had an ice skating ring in it that I would go to. Yeah. But as far as ever going to the stadium there or to the arena, I went there to see concerts. Mm-hmm. A couple of times. I think I saw Rush there.
I saw Rush in Greensboro.
Did you? And I
2011.
and also races there in Charlotte, of course, Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah. Well, Phil Collins is mine and my daughter's favorite. If you look at my YouTube channel, which you'll see when I put the podcast up, there's about a 1.5-minute clip where I surprised my 7-year-old daughter with tickets to see Genesis. And she's in tears, and I'm so proud because I'm thinking this is a 7-year-old that not only knows who Genesis is, but that's her favorite, and she wants to go see him with me. I thought I've done a pretty good.
Very cool.
I've done a pretty good job of raising her right if we do that. So we went to the Spectrum Center and saw Genesis. That was and so
very cool.
Yeah, and we've also seen Paul McCartney. So you know, Elvis, if he had lived, he would have been on our list somewhere, I'm sure. You know, but he only played like 55 minutes. Is that accurate?
You're saying Elvis back in that day, yes.
Yes.
And every now and again, he might go a little over an hour 10, something like that, but that would be about right.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of wind-ups. You know, they had a Jackie Kahane that would do an opening act. He was a comedian. Then they would have the Sweet Inspirations. And then the girls from the Sweet Inspirations. The Sweet Inspirations was a group of ladies.
Sissy Houston.
Sissy Houston, Whitney's mother, and several other ladies, but they also sang with Elvis. So they did both. They had a band.
Yeah.
In fact, I watched the Elvis movie out in Las Vegas with the drummer from
the Sweet Inspiration.
The Sweet Inspiration, Stump Monroe is his name. Jerome, they call him Stump.
Okay.
And he actually filled in for Elvis's drummer 3 different times while they were out on the road. 3 different times something happened and he couldn't play, so Stump filled in.
Right.
3 different concerts, and I got to watch the movie with Stump.
Wow. Now, Sissy, of course, was not with the Sweet Inspirations at the time that Elvis was in Roanoke. She left the Sweet Inspirations in '69.
She didn't last very long with them, that's right. But Estelle, I've done an interview with Estelle. She's been with them the whole time.
Right. Now, they performed on an album that is a favorite of mine called Dusty in Memphis by Dusty Springfield.
Yeah, Dusty Springfield, it sure did.
And,
Son of a Preacher Man.
That's right. And I'm hoping to write a play on about Dusty in Memphis. I haven't gotten very far, but to write a play about those sessions, and because that was very pivotal.
Yeah, that's American Sound Studio. Yeah, Chimp's Moment.
Yep. And
some amazing stuff came out of there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dusty's record was one of the most underappreciated in the world, and is a blueprint for blue-eyed soul today, I think. You know, because there was only one voice like Elvis, and likewise there was only one voice like Dusty, but you don't hear about Dusty as much. So.
Well, you know, the guts of that studio are in Nashville.
In Nashville,
in the Musicians Hall of Fame.
Yep, I was lucky enough to go there once and see it, and that is a beautiful museum.
It is. It's very, very well done. Really nice man that owns that thing.
Yep, Mr. Joe Chambers, super nice.
Joe Chambers, yeah. Joe's a great guy. And last time, not the last time, but I went over there. I had some guys from France come here to Nashville, and we went down there to the Musicians Hall of Fame, and they have the guitar, the blue 12-string from Clambake, from Elvis's movie Clambake, and he pulled it out of the cabinet and let us hold it, and, you know, for those guys and all that, so it was pretty cool. He's been very nice to me, and he has a great channel on YouTube as well.
Yes, he does. A super, super guy. He gave me a hat when I was there. I won't forget him for sure. But I kept going back to that room, American Sound Studios, and of course Elvis did his great Memphis album there with some great covers, Chuck Jackson, Jerry Butler, There's some great stuff on that record, and of course there's Kentucky Rain and Suspicious Minds, big hits. So
they have the Gus Ring guitar that Reggie Young played in the Ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
They have the snare there that was played on Suspicious Minds and in the Ghetto and Don't Cry Daddy, and it was also the snare used on Sweet Caroline.
Yes. Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond, yeah. Same drum. That guy's still alive. He's still playing.
Yeah, they are.
Gino.
What's his name again?
His name is, they call him Gino. His name is Gene Chrisman.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that Gene is probably 87 or 88 now.
Yeah, and he played on Dusty in Memphis, too. He
sure did, yes.
He'd be a great one to get an interview with, at any rate. But thank you, Billy, for taking so much time with me. I've enjoyed every minute of it. And
well, certainly. You call me anytime, my friend.
And when you come to Roanoke and you pass through Whitfield, be sure to stop and say hello to us.
I sure will. I've got to come up there and go to that other hotel and make that follow-up video for sure.
Well, I'm a big fan of your channel, as you know, and I'd like to see there was like a festival of 100,000 people. It's called the Woodstock of Bluegrass. It was Stompin' 76 that happened in Galax in August of 76, and the headliner was Bonnie Raitt when she was 27 years old.
Wow.
And she stayed at what is now the Roadway Inn. Back then it was the Downtowner Motel. And I thought I would love to see if you could find a room that Bonnie stayed in, or do something on that. If somebody would know something about Stompin' 76, that would make a great video too.
Yes.
That happened in a field that's now grown up. It was like 100,000 people, and but it's called Pot Rock at that time, and there were John Prine played there, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Bonnie Raitt. I've done several articles. The promoter of the festival, Hal Davidson, has been very generous with me over the years, and I've been able to do several articles for him. But to have Bonnie Raitt's another favorite of mine. To have Bonnie that close to where I live is pretty, left me pretty awestruck.
That's pretty cool.
Because I've been to Charlotte many times to see Bonnie, and I think it only cost $12 to see her back then. And so that was pretty neat. Anyway, I really appreciate your time. It's great to get to talk to you, and I wish you continued great success on your channel. And
I appreciate you. And call anytime.
Well, thank you. And like I said, when you get to Roanoke or the area, do stop and say hello. It would be a great pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. It'd be nice to meet you too, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yes,
and
sir. I
look forward to hopefully talking with you again. If you get over this way and get another interesting story, be sure. I only make $12 a week for what I do, so I do what I do out of pure enjoyment of doing it. So if you run across a good story, let me know.
That sounds great, my friend. I sure will.
Well, it was, again, very nice meeting you, and I hope we'll talk again.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it.
Yes, take care. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir.